Yes, thanks, Chris. Listen, first and foremost, Cameron, I congratulated you off air for just an incredible season. Even though you dealt with an injury, so much you were doing off the court, and you got engaged, and the internet went wild. So it has been a beautiful, well, last year, I should say, 2024, and we're hoping for a beautiful 2025. You are joining us on behalf of Optimum Nutrition for a very important initiative. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so the initiative is called Pretty Damn Good, and it's a really cool concept. It's purely about backing female athletes and showing that we're not just pretty good, we're in fact pretty damn good. So it was a really cool opportunity for me. I got to do a commercial with both my mom and my dad, and it was a really cool full circle moment. And it's just all about highlighting women and obviously Optimum Nutrition's gold standard way, which has been a building block in my recovery. So
Well,
very cool moment for
you
me.
speak of that recovery, and I have to tell you, everybody has just rejoiced in the videos of you working out, you back shooting in the gym. I think the WNBA world and just basketball fans in general held their breath when the news of your injury hit social media, hit the media waves. What was some of the best advice you received during this process? Obviously, getting an injury like that early in your career when the ceiling was so high must have been hard for you, not only physically, emotionally, spiritually. Who gave you the best advice during that entire process?
Yeah, I've had a lot of great mentors who have gone through the same thing. I'm sure you can tell that an ACL or other injuries are very common for basketball players. It's kind of an occupational hazard, I guess people have told me, which makes me feel better about it. You know, it's kind of the risk you take playing basketball. But I think the best advice I've gotten is to just take it day by day, approach the weight room like your new game day, because that's where I'm living right now, is in the weight room. And yeah, just knowing it's not the end of the world. I feel really good physically, mentally, and I know my career is going to be long and great because I have great people around me. So feeling very blessed.
Obviously, one of those great people you have around you is Steph Curry, and I read that he actually convinced you to do Unrivaled. And we know that you're rehabbing and focusing on your health so you can be ready for the WNBA season, but we look forward to seeing you join the Unrivaled League when you are fully ready to do so. But Steph Curry's been in the news lately because he has been very transparent about the clock ticking on his NBA career. As somebody who knows him, knows his family, knows his work ethic, just knows what basketball means to him, how difficult must it be for him to finally arrive to that conclusion and say it out loud?
I think if anyone knows Steph, he's a very easygoing and just joyful person. So I'm sure it's hard for him in a sense, but he's so well-rounded spiritually, mentally, physically. So I think he's just at peace most of the time in his life. He's a very peaceful person, I think. So we've been so proud of everything he's accomplished already, and whatever he decides to do, we're proud of him and back him 100%.
I want to talk about growing the women's game because Steph, when you speak about him and the things that he does off the court, that includes helping to grow the game of basketball from the women's side of things. And there have been a plethora of NBA athletes who have helped do that. And from the female perspective, the women's side of things, you are at the forefront of that. We talk about this past WNBA draft. It was explosive from so many different angles: fashion, beauty. Obviously, the draft in itself set record-breaking numbers. What does it mean for you to be part of this generation of WNBA athletes, just women basketball players in general, women athletes in general, to really help push this league, push women's sports as a whole forward at the trajectory in which you are all doing it?
It means everything. It's a huge honor, and I don't take it lightly. I actually mentioned this at the draft. I'm sure a lot of people know my mother is very close to me, and she's been a huge inspiration for me through my career. But she obviously had a long, amazing basketball career playing at Virginia Tech, but she moved on to work at Nike, and she was a product line manager with players like Dawn Staley, Cheryl Swoops. She worked with Jen Rosati. So I, growing up, had a hand and saw the hard work that the women, did before me. So I always have to give my flowers to the Lisa Leslies of the world, Rebecca Lobo. So I think we're here because of them. And my mom, I'm really thankful she kind of put me into that world at a young age. So just to be a small part of that's a really big honor.
I want to talk about this Unrivaled league while we're on this topic, because I feel like every single day there's a new sponsor, there's a new media partner, there's somebody getting in on this, an investor. What do you think that this Unrivaled league is going to do when it comes to setting the precedent for women's basketball, women leagues in general? I feel like now everybody has to look at them and say, this is what we need to do for our women athletes.
Simply put, it's phenomenal. And just for me, even though I'm not playing, it's been amazing for my, peace and kind of growth and recovery, just to be around all these amazing female athletes. We are growing with each other, and Stewie and Fee are at the forefront of that. They have brought this opportunity to all of us with great salaries, great care. I mean, I'm getting amazing care for my knee, great support from all of the girls. And I just couldn't be more thankful. We don't have to go overseas if we don't want to. We can still make an amazing salary, in 3 months. And it also helps our bodies. We're not putting crazy strain on our bodies like you usually would overseas. So I'm just incredibly thankful for the opportunity, and that they want me here, as an injured player, so I can just be the best cheerleader that I can be. But they're entrepreneurs, amazing mothers, and they're helping a lot of us.
Well, you're going to be a very fashionable cheerleader, because I've seen you at Lakers games. I saw you at the draft. We saw you in the cover of Sports Illustrated, in the pages of the magazine Urban Decay. I mean, the list goes on and on. I said this once and I'll say it again. If you didn't want to be a hooper, you could have been a supermodel. So that brings me to this topic right here. Fashion is so engraved in sports. We're used to seeing it with the men. Now we're seeing it with the women when it comes to the game of basketball. So I'm going to put you on the spot. It could be a man, it could be a woman. Give me your top 5 most stylish basketball players.
Okay. Top 5 most stylish.
Yeah.
Men and women?
Yes, can be either or.
Okay. I'm putting me in there.
Of course.
Why not? Me, Skylar Diggins Smith, SGA. Puts it on. Who else? Steph. I'll say Steph Curry. He does good.
Nice and understated. I like it.
Was that 4? And then last one. I'll just go with Rakia. My girl Rakia.
Yeah, Rakia puts it on.
She does. Yeah, my Sparks girl.
I think that's a nice, well-rounded list. Now, before we let you go, there's another breaking topic we have to ask you about. We know Jimmy Butler is your favorite player. There's a lot of drama going on in Miami. He's expressed interest in wanting to leave just to find his joy again. And we know how important that is to athletes when playing the game that they love. They just want to have fun. Any predictions on where he might end up? Golden State's a rumor. Houston's a rumor. Where would you like to see Jimmy?
I honestly would love to see him wherever he's happy. He's a great guy, and he's been very supportive with women's basketball. So I hope he ends up where he's happy, and I hope his career is long and healthy. I respect him a lot. So
I love that.
My thoughts to him right now. And
he's a great teammate to have. So whoever gets him is going to be very fortunate. Now, speaking of team, obviously you're in Miami right now, but LA is home to you throughout a big chunk of the year. Obviously, you play for the Sparks, and the greater Los Angeles area is dealing with just horrific fires, and people are being displaced, and animals, and the images coming out of LA are just absolutely horrific. I want to give you an opportunity to speak to that community, to speak to your fan base, and everybody that you call neighbors.
Yeah, all I can honestly say right now is I'm living in LA. I'm going to be back in LA in a week. And it breaks my heart for people who have lost pets, maybe loved ones, their homes, their cherished items. It breaks my heart, and my thoughts and my prayers are with all of our fans, all of the residents of LA, the Palisades. So it is truly heartbreaking, and I hope there's, a conclusion to it soon.
Well, Cameron, LA is lucky to have you. We were lucky to have you today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we cannot wait to see you back on the court, hooping and styling and doing everything and anything that your heart desires. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And look, if you want more conversations surrounding Cameron Brink, women's basketball, and everything women's sports, make sure you are locked in to We Need to Talk Now. Scan this QR code and we will pop up wherever you get your podcast. That's me and Alicia J. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. There's no reason to not be tapped in with us.